doing good, man. How about you? How's it going?
I'm alright.
Nice. So today we're gonna be interviewing palr, who is rostered on the OWC 25 roster. How do you feel?
I'm excited. Ask away.
Ask away, he says. We're gonna go straight into the questions now. What do you hope to achieve in the Oceanic Cup and why?
Well, I would hope to get first, but I want to be a bit realistic here, right? Knowing there's some tough competition, so I think if I qualify, I'll be pretty happy. But I think if I try, I could probably make it to finals.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. That obviously you'll qualify, right? You're even on the OWC 25 and 24 roster, so that already shows up for your skill a lot. And I think even for some people who would put you in the pick'ems, they would even say you would be top 6 seed, or even, in my opinion, I would say top 4 because qualifiers is your star rating. Who do you think are the strongest contenders besides yourself, or your biggest rival?
Well, there's the obvious, right? The strong contenders. We have Secret Box, Atkins, Cloppit, Zintex, all those like very, very high skill cap players who are like, perma on the OWC team. But I think for my biggest rival, it would probably be Xavier. I think last 1v1 tournament, I played against him in ANZT, and he cooked me 6-1. But I have some history with him. I've watched him grow as a tournament player since the beginning. He was a little newbie, and now, I need my revenge. So, watch out.
What's one thing you think people underestimate about you as a player?
Alright, so I think ever since I've started tournaments, a lot of people really knew me as the hard rock player, but I think not many people. Well, I would hope after OWC 2025, more people would know how I can play other skill sets. So I think I'm not really underrated in anything. I think most people know what I can play, what I can't play. I'm just pretty all-rounded in most areas, but not really particularly insane at anything, I would say.
What about your hidden skill there? Your hidden skill was shown all throughout OWC. Would you say that's your more known skill set now after OWC?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think before that I would definitely be a bit underrated in that department, but nowadays it's not really very underrated.
Who is the most underrated player in the Oceanic Cup?
So I think some of the lesser known names in the OWC team, obviously, like Xavier, Superior, but early on in this year, we have a lot of improving players as well, namely Drox. He's been playing very well in 3WC lately. But also some lower ranked players. Some of you might know Poyudo. That guy, all I can say, that guy's a specimen.
Definitely a good up and coming player. I've seen him in many leaderboards on AR8 maps. So yeah, definitely looking forward to see Poyudo maybe even qualify and get a pretty good run in the Oceanic Cup. How did you get into OSU?
So, I made my account in 2019, so that's when I was in year 7. I had some friends in high school, 2 people actually, you might know them from the Australian community, Jude Orr and Ramu. I think I played in that year for maybe 1 or 2 months. I didn't really get too into it, but then one day in 2021 I just decided I want to get back on, and then I just started really enjoying the game. The rest is history, as some would say.
Hello. Welcome back to the Oceanic Cup. My name is Guy McCrilla, and joining me in the casting booth is the lovely Last. You guys are joining us right after that very, very nice interview that MREC provided for us to witness the second to last matchup of the quarterfinals weekend. This is going to be a matchup between Cloppit and palr, 2 brothers coming in, both hailing from the OWC 2025 second runner-up roster. Last, what were your thoughts on the match that we have today?
I can't wait for this one. This is going to be, I think, probably one of, if not the best matches of the weekend. Going to be a very intense one. Obviously, Cloppit hailing from the more skill ceiling sort of side, but palr incredibly consistent, incredibly good at just about everything you throw at him, especially in this stage of the pool. So we have seen the roles already but cloppit is choosing that first pick. So we are going to see the palr bands coming out now. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see probably a DT2 ban in there. There is that DT2 ban from palr. And then I would assume cloppit would probably go for that lower AR with that hidden 2 no mod 6. And then whether we see, you know, DT3, DT1 ban.
I think like the tempo of this match is going to be very easy to read after we get these bans out of the way, right? Because it's very easy at surface level to evaluate these two players as a pretty one-dimensional gimmick / control versus mechanics. And we will be seeing that, you know, of course, cloppit is more gifted when it comes to those raw high BPM skill cap maps, and meanwhile, palr is more on the low AR side. Hence why, you know, as you predicted, right, Lust, we're gonna see no mod 6 and hidden 2 get taken out for cloppit, and we're gonna see palr respond with a double speed ban, DT2 and DT3.
Yeah, and cloppit going for that DT1 now. I think palr is definitely able to play this DT1 surprisingly well, so not necessarily a pick that I would say is 100% guaranteed in the cloppit field, but definitely more favored to him for sure. So
I don't know, Lust. I'm personally not the biggest fan of this DT1 pick because, I mean, you put it pretty well, right? Even though I do think cloppit is favored just by nature of it being mechanics, I don't think that this map, especially at this SR, is going to be enough to trip palr up when it comes to like these raw mechanics, right? This is just a 264 BPM raw aim test, and I think the skill cap of these players are both enough to be able to play basically everything in this pool to a certain level. And given how DT1 is, you know, typically in tournaments one of the more accessible maps in the pool, this being no exception, you know, Sasuke Nathan DT1. So I think it's going to be pretty easy for both of these players to get high scores, and so could potentially be an early coin flip / gamble pick for cloppit. But for what it's worth, this is one of the more dangerous picks, and since we are this early on in the matchup, I would say that, you know, even if cloppit lost this kind of pick, it would not be as damning as, say, it was in the mid game or the late game, where any pick could instantly shift the tempo of the match to the other side. So we'll have to see how this DT1 first pick goes, and well, if cloppit wins this, that is one rough patch that he doesn't have to look at for the rest of the match.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this DT1 as you are saying, but we will find out momentarily how this is going to go. I think this is still definitely in the realm of palr's skill set. That's not something I'm going to be too surprised if we see two very good scores here. So,
yep. Instantly, we are off to the races. Really, this map is just, I believe, 2 minutes, around 2 minutes and 30 seconds worth of just raw, you know, aim farm, if anything. There are a few bursts here and there that might trip some of these players up, but I mean, nothing that they're possibly uncomfortable on. Early stages of the map, that burst comes in, and it is going to put a pretty sizable 1% accuracy lead in favor of the right side cloppit, going to be taking early front foot going into this first KI, but this is where we're expecting to see some action. And given how short this map is, right, any sort of miss will be very, very significant in shifting the tides. And with that, palr finds just that, as cloppit is now looking to squeeze out as much of a score lead as he can, moving into the second quarter of the map.
Yeah, palr finding about a third of the map in, finding a slider break is not what you want, but cloppit does find a break to match it, so that score is only about 50k difference at the moment, and that ACK advantage isn't doing enough to give cloppit a huge difference there, really. It is shrinking a little bit even into palr's favor at the moment. There's still plenty of time in this map.
And it's going to move over as cloppit finds yet another miss. That's 300 combo and counting for palr, and it's only going to continue to go up as we move into the next KI. But we saw palr miss at this point last KI. The question is, will he be able to convert this lead into a score lead? And it looks like he will look to do just that as the score line shifts over to the left side. And we once again trudge forward into the next third of the map. This is where the bursts get pretty intense. Bit of the finger control as well, with some of the doubles added into the mix, but nothing is tripping up these players at this juncture as we move in to the last quarter of the map. and into the break.
Both players with that big combo, but palr is in that lead. 50k advantage for him. He can just coast through this ending. If he keeps holding, he will take a breakpoint to start us off. We do. cloppit does need to hope that palr finds a miss. And very, very soon, because that score is growing and growing. 70k, the advantage. He's still holding. Both players still holding.
And it's, I mean,
you
say that, right? But I do think that there is still enough time, but palr has to go down now. You know, the last of the bursts, which is where we've seen palr mostly struggle on this map, is going to come in right now. And it looks like it's just not going to be enough as palr just eats all of that up. There's not nowhere enough density, despite the fact that these DT scorelines can shift fast. I think there is nothing for palr to trip on anymore. And with that, I mean, we called it, right? It was always going to be a risky pick going for this DT1. And it's going to go to palr.
Interesting, starting off with a breakpoint against the skill cap player on the more skill cappy pick. Very, very telling signs for palr. Very good. Very much what you want to see if you are a palr fan in the chat. And we are gonna probably, I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw a hidden one, maybe a hidden 3 here. Immediately picked out for palr.
Yeah, definitely one of the hidden picks, right? I mean, he sort of mentioned it in the pre-match interview. You know, Emrek definitely outlined the hidden being palr's main exclamation mark X factor when it comes to his picking strategy, and he does do just that. It's gonna be Risei Gun being picked out, hidden 3. Yeah, I mean, this hidden 3, it's Risei Gun. It's a pretty popular tech map. And it's also a very, very long tech map. One of the longer maps in the pool, if not, I believe, the longest map in the pool, ignoring Tiebreaker. This map clocks in at just above 4 minutes, coming in at 4 minutes and 18 seconds long. And, you know, the map itself, map stats-wise, it's really nothing that special. And to me, this is definitely one of those maps where I definitely see it as sort of a mixed tech check. There is a good amount of sliders that go into the KI. Nothing too complex, definitely not, you know, an Ezrock or Ishtek or Nuke style slider tech map, but a lot more structure in these sliders to be had. It's a lot cleaner at that. But of course, in addition to that, right, we're also expecting to see a bunch of circle tech being thrown into the mix. This map coming in at 175 BPM shouldn't be high enough to trip out any of these players, so really it's going to be the patterning that's going to be the main point of contention over the span of these 4 minutes.
Yeah, something I think cloppit is trying to prove here, and we do see a palr break very early on, but something cloppit is trying to prove here. He does have quite a lot of hidden prowess, so cloppit definitely no slouch when it comes to this style of map. Already he does have that early advantage over palr, still holding that FC versus palr, finding 2 breaks.
Yeah, I didn't quite get to mention it, but these slider bursts are so incredibly difficult to aim on, right? And it's a matter of pattern processing. If you remove the sliders, I'm sure these players could just ace every single one of them, but when you throw sliders into the mix, it just makes it all the more challenging to read. cloppit might find a miss, but it's currently getting matched up by palr, and it's looking to he's looking to stagnate the scoreline. In fact, bring it slightly over to the right side, especially given how cloppit once again is holding a 2% ag lead over palr. They're moving into a bit of a slow section, just some time for these players to regain their momentum. But as of right now, I mean, palr is looking to give cloppit a run for their money, but the combos are not big enough to even begin to make any sort of impact on the scoreline.
We do see that palr break coming out again, so cloppit is going to be majorly in the advantage now. He has that score lead, has a huge accuracy lead by about 2% on this style of mapping, and he has that big 200 combo advantage as well. So cloppit really needs to hold on here, and he's going to potentially bring back another breakpoint. There's still plenty of time left in this map. Nearly half, a bit over half of the map still left to go, but
I don't know, man. That lead is growing, and it's growing fast, but down goes cloppit. And now it's time for palr to regain that combo, regain that stride, but palr does not get far of the combo lead, and who can blame him? This KI is so incredibly difficult, especially with the hidden, just making consistency all the more difficult to get. Everybody aces that flow aim pattern, phenomenal stuff. Moving into the breakdown of the song, all about these weird slider shapes, so different, so unique from all the slider attack maps that we see in tournaments nowadays. Can I just say, moving into the second half of the map. Everybody's going the wrong way. Everybody's just cheesing the sliders, but it does not matter whatsoever. But in fact, as I'm talking, cloppit finds the miss and a bunch of chain misses. In fact, is gonna drag that scoreline even closer to the left side. palr now holds a pretty sizable accuracy lead and combo lead. Not an accuracy lead, but a combo lead over cloppit right now. 400 combo and counting, and that scoreline is going to shift over to that left side. So there is definitely still enough time.
Score so close as well. Just flickering now back to the advantage of palr. And palr has a huge combo advantage over cloppit at the moment. Cloppit does need to try and stabilize himself here. And he really needs to see a palr break if he doesn't want to start this match off down 2-0. But palr looking far too comfortable at the moment. Up nearly 600 combo now. And he does find that break though. But cloppit is now slightly going to be able to start to bring it back.
Hold on. So cloppit has been holding a lead over palr throughout this entire map, right? And suddenly in that I believe second or third KI, the slider KI, the breakdown, palr managed to get a very, very sizable combo lead. But even so, he's only 7k ahead with that miss. And we're moving into that final KI with both players just neck and neck. When it comes to the scoreline, it is a tightrope walk for both of these players. Only 100 combo lead on the side of cloppit with basically identical accuracies. Cloppit holding a slight lead, but damn, that score is not moving, and it's not gonna go any further to the right side as cloppit finds the miss going into the flow, and palr joins him in the graveyard. But it's not gonna be enough. Last sections of the map, and once again, I don't know if there's gonna be enough density to tilt the scales one last time. But hold on, a bunch of accuracy drops coming from palr, and it's 800. It might just come down to the slider. Oh my goodness, hold your breath. I'm sitting at the edge of my seat, and it's just over.
Oh no.
All right,
last.
All right, last.
What a point we have, Cammy. What a point.
Oh, we are playing the game. Oh, it is time to play the game. Oh my goodness. I mean, it looks so palr favored. Like oh my goodness, I'm lost for words. It looks so palr favored going to the ending, right? But it's just that it's just that one accuracy drop on that zigzag pattern that just caused palr to lose all that accuracy and all that score as well. It just gave cloppit barely enough time to deal it right back. And with that, we're equalizing 1-1.
Yeah, breakpoint for breakpoint, and sort of on the picks that you would expect to go the other way as well. So very interesting, but we do see palr washing his hands now. This is the forbidden technique, the palr hand wash method. We are going to see a different beast come back, so...
Oh, here we come. This is what I expected to see from cloppit from the very beginning, that no more 5. I mean, but okay, wait. But before we get into that, I think after that hidden 3, palr's going to be a lot more careful trying to go for another hidden against cloppit. I think if anything, right, that hidden pick proved to palr that cloppit, as you mentioned, is definitely no slouch on the hidden. So it's gotta be a bit careful going into the later stages of the match. Of course, there is only one hidden left in the pool, but still, I think palr is definitely looking to go into it. Probably at some point in the match, maybe not the next pick anymore. But here we go, No More 5. It's a quad A map. This is a beautiful speed map. Happy hardcore, I think that's the genre of it, and it's Reach for Your Victory. Quad A, one of my favorite composers of all time, and this map is nothing short of a bop and a half. This map clocks in at around 260 BPM, or almost 260 BPM, or 256 BPM to be precise. And it combines some elements of speed aim, but the main point of attraction definitely is going to be these insane flowing patterns. And the flowing in this map might not be too intense, definitely not as intense as what we'll be seeing in No Mod 2 slots and whatnot, but it does demand a certain level of comfort from the 260 BPM, right? These flowing patterns might not be too difficult if, say, it was 60 BPM slower. Everybody could probably play it. But when you crank it up to such a BPM, that's where, your mental capacity from how difficult it is to tap eats into your ability to aim. So that might be a point of contention for these players to think about going into this No Mod 5. And I mean, I guess before we begin, right? This is also an OS original, not a Oceanic Cup original, but it's an original from Ballywood Cup 2024. It was their grand finals, No Mod 4. It was a original song by Quarter, so huge shouts to Ballywood Cup as well.
Getting into this No Mod 5 pick now. palr again. This is sort of in the realm that palr can play this BPM, so I don't know if I necessarily hardcore favor cloppit here. I think this could be very even point again. palr can definitely tap this. Maybe not to the same proficiency as cloppit with that accuracy, but I can definitely see a double FC coming out here. So
accuracy, it's all gonna come down to the accuracy last, but here we go, early stages of the map, and once again, cloppit is just an accuracy demon. Every single beginning of the map has just been so clean for cloppit. But of course, that is not what matters. We're moving into more and more of these intersections, you know, just trying to warm these players up into the BPM, giving a little boon to their consistency and their overall aim control. But we get into the build-up, and cloppit loses a lot of accuracy in that one burst. Not going to be quite enough to put him on the other side of the scoreboard. But as we get into the KI, here's where we're expecting to see some action. Square shape jumps come to attack these players. Egg drops come in from the left side, but no misses, no falls in combos just yet. And for what it's worth, palr is going to look to keep things close.
yeah, palr definitely down on that act, nearly 3% down, but he's fighting his best fight right now. We do see that cloppit break. That is going to be the first break of the map. palr is going to start to take that advantage now.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I really don't like that. This is a map that is so contingent on holding a good combo, right? And now palr with the combo lead is looking as threatening as ever, but he will not get far of the combo. That is good if you're a cloppit fan. He finds yet another miss, and look at the accuracies. cloppit's accuracy safety net is what's building him this lead right now, and it's good. He's gonna have a much easier time trying to rebuild this combo back into his hands, but no, cloppit finds a miss. He can't keep going down like this. palr now has the combo lead, but he's not leading by much. We're moving into the last quarter of the map, and time is running out. The clock is ticking.
Really scary. Only 5k difference. Oh my goodness gracious. Just an absolute nail biter. Like
Here we
every
go.
point's above, but palr finds those misses.
Angular changes come to attack these players, and palr is the one to find the miss right out of the gate. cloppit is pushing and pushing and pushing, and with a 40k score lead, the biggest that this map has seen. I think it was a pretty dicey pick in the middle section, but cloppit will be emerging victorious on his very own No Mod 5 pick. Very, very nice stuff from cloppit, and you know, definitely proving to us why he is the player that's favored on all of the speed maps this match.
Interestingly, 4 misses to 3 misses, very close miscount, but that act is just hugely in that cloppit favor. Again, this pick now, I'm not too sure where you go if you're palr. Like, we saw cloppit taking that previous hidden pick, and I don't know if hidden 1 is the right pick here, but the hard rocks, cloppit again is very, very proficient at that hard rock, so you kind of have to go maybe a No Mod 3, No Mod 4 angle here, or possibly could he try and do the hard rock on consistency?
What are your thoughts on, Lars, what are your thoughts on control being up for grabs for cloppit? Something like either No Mod 3 or the No Mod 4.
Yeah, I think, that's kind of the angle that we're going to have to see, because, that hidden 1 I think is a no-go at the moment.
Oh, no, he is looking to stick to his guns, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. This absolute zero. Okay, reasons why I don't like this map. All right, one, cloppit just apparently is the go that hidden or something, and two, in contrast to what we saw from the hidden 3, this hidden 1 is not an accessible pick whatsoever. It's something that, you know, a lot of people can probably play. Absolute zero. This is just a standard aim mechanics map, right? Nothing really too special about this map, be it when it comes to the map stats or when it comes to the AR. The only thing that's really special about it is the patterning of this map, and oh boy, there's a lot to talk about with the patterning. This map features a lot of wide angle jumps, and I'm talking wide angle jumps. You could be looking at linear aim. You could be looking at let me think of what a good degree what a good degree would be. 150 degrees when it comes to a lot of these wide angle patterns, and overall the awkward aim is going to be the main point of contention, right? when you slap hidden on it, it just makes playing this entire map all the more difficult, especially when it comes to a consistency standpoint. So yeah, I do find it interesting that Lust decides to go for a pick like this, but at the same time, could definitely see him looking to abuse that sort of comfort that he has over cloppit.
Getting into this pick now, dropping a little love heart in the chat, cloppit, a little wholesome chungus that he is.
Oh, it looks like we're gonna do a quick reset on the stream client, I think. Oh, no, we are here. Just hopefully the stream can catch up real quick. And here we go, right at the beginning of Absolute Zero. Here we go. It's gonna be a standard awkward aim consistency check.
And already seeing that comfort difference. palr holding that SS while cloppit is down, about 95% accuracy. And palr should, do his best to hold here. There is a lot of awkward angles in this map. Sorry, this is an O/ map, so one of those Australian tournament goats. And we are going to see a map coming from him. cloppit is holding here though, both still FCing and getting into this first, more difficult section of the map. To start this Ki, both players still holding, but we do see that cloppit break, and now palr is going to be completely in the driver's seat, holding that SS still.
That's right. I mean, palr is just beating down on cloppit right now. The scoreline is going to grow exponentially in favor of the left side as he holds a 2% accuracy lead alongside an FC still in his hands. We move into the build down of the Ki, and now the question is, can palr look to capitalize and get more free combo for himself? Can he walk out this Ki scot-free? And I mean, if he does, it's gonna be a lot harder for cloppit to bring any sort of comeback or amass any sort of comeback later on in this match. But we're moving into a slidery section of the map. Still very, very awkward, but afterwards it's full swing into the next Ki. More and more awkward aim hits these players. How is he doing this, by the way? What is he doing?
Unfortunately, finds a few hundreds now, but absolutely making this map his baby and just owning cloppit at the moment. Unfortunately, cloppit scored nothing to slouch at. Still massive combo, 500 combo, 99 AC, but palr yet to find a break, only a few hundreds to boot. Just absolutely dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say though, cloppit's combo is looking rather scary, and for what it's worth, as far as accuracies are concerned, cloppit improved that accuracy from the beginning of the map all the way till this last quarter, right? He's only 0.4 combo, he's only a 0.4 accuracy away from palr, so if palr finds a miss, cloppit might be able to put up a pretty damn good fight, but time is running out. Once again, that window of opportunity is closing, and it is closing fast, and it is slammed shut as cloppit will not be able to hold it together. palr might find a miss, but it is already over. Last quarter of the map, and I don't think there's anything cloppit can do but watch as palr equalizes the scoreline 2-2.
What a score we're seeing from palr, by the way. 99.2, and did he miss or just find a slider break? But otherwise,
I was not paying attention.
Incredible score. I believe I saw a few 50s. I'm not sure if I saw a miss.
I mean, from both of these players, right? I mean, against any other opponent, this would have been an incredible score from cloppit. It's just that he just happened to be playing against one of the best when it comes to hidden in this matchup. But yeah, it looks like what palr sought to abuse against cloppit was not necessarily the highest R skill cap, but it was most definitely the consistency and that comfort that palr is basically unmatched on in this entire tournament, right? When it comes to hidden comfort in particular, very few players can go toe to toe when it comes to that raw consistency on the hidden. And it just looked as though that was what palr knew that, and he took a decisive point off cloppit. So with both players winning out their first two picks, we move comfortably into the mid game. Here's where we're expecting to see, these players slowly but surely run dry on their picks. And, rightfully so. I think one thing to note about the board state at this juncture is that palr and cloppit basically have to play on completely different playfields now. cloppit has removed the Nomok 5, he's removed the DT1, so both speedy maps are out of the question. And then palr removes both hidden, so he needs to find somewhere else to begin to farm points. Looks like cloppit is going to use DT4, you know, the final DT map in the pool as his last DT pick out of the way. But I don't quite know about this sort of DT4 pick. I mean, Last, I'm sure you're a bit more familiar with these players than I am. How's palr when it comes to, you know, precision?
palr is incredible when it comes to precision as well. I'm not 100% sure about this pick from cloppit. I think this might even be a little bit palr favored. If anything, the AR might trip up palr a little bit, but the mapping style, the doubles, and the precision is kind of scary to try and pick into palr. So
yeah, and
definitely
for what it's worth, right? This is a pretty good information pick coming in from cloppit, because if cloppit beats out palr on this DT4, it opens up the opportunity for him to push into, say, the Hard Rock 2 later on in the match, right? Because the Hard Rock pool is kind of an enigma right now, and any sort of information that they can get would be very, very valuable for either side. But of course, the same is true if palr wins on this DT4, then it becomes dangerous for cloppit, because he's just given his opponent a free point and more information and a clear trajectory to boot. So this is going to be a pretty important DT4 as we move into the mid game of this match. Of course, picks are going to start running dry, so this is the first of many dicey picks to come.
Yeah, a lot of these picks to the left now, I can't really see a clear favorite anywhere. I'm gonna get straight into this DT4 now.
That's right. As this map is CS6, so not quite, you know, the precision that most tournament players are familiar with. You know, it's not quite CS 6.5 or it's not quite 7.8, but CS6 definitely going to be more than enough to trip these players up if they're not comfortable on either the AR or the BPM. For what it's worth, however, everybody accustoming to the map very, very nicely. cloppit holding an early accuracy lead, but I mean, we are always expecting this guy to hold the accuracy lead. But here comes the main fight. You know, these linear patterns are incredibly easy to mistap. It's very incredibly easy to misaim, but it seems as though everybody escorts that section very, very nicely. But cloppit is going to find a miss right at the tail end of that section, and palr is now going to hold that combo lead over cloppit, looking to take as much of a score lead as he can, but he will not get too far. cloppit hot on his heels right now, 100 combo and counting.
Yeah, palr finding a few misses there, unfortunately will lose that advantage that he did have, but he is still up in that score department, reaching nearly the halfway point of the map. Both of these scores looking eerily similar. cloppit up on that ack a little bit, and he is in the combo advantage, but that score is unwavering, still holding around that 15-16k mark. palr doing his absolute best to fight him off.
Should start to get scarier and scarier as the map draws on, as that multiplier begins to increase. But of course, it's all contingent on whether cloppit can hold, and we move into the next of these linear sections, and palr is going to be the one to find the miss instantly, throwing that score all the way to the right side. But we move into the last third of the map, and things are still on the table. You know, there is definitely still a comeback to be had from palr, given how, you know, given how polarizing and given how volatile a double time pick is. Even more so, a double time precision pick. It is so easy for him to just lose the scoreline, and with that miss, it could be dangerous. palr is looking to steal this scoreline slowly but surely, and I think with half of the map left in the tank, it will be enough to bring it back.
I think there is, yeah, definitely enough time. 30k to claw back for palr, and he's slowly bringing it back. I think it's definitely going to be enough time. He just needs to keep holding.
Oh, and with that miss from cloppit, things are looking dicey. He's in dire straits right now as palr, now with the combo lead, he will not get far though. He finds the miss and loses a bunch of accuracy, and once again, we are in a hidden 3 map endgame scenario. palr has been in this position before, but the question is, will he let history repeat himself? I don't think he will. And it's going to be a break point for palr.
Oh my days. cloppit almost bringing it back with that spinner though.
Are we real, bro? Are we? Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no. Cloppit, man, you can't keep doing this to me. Cloppit, you can't keep picking these maps, bro. Oh
Breakpoint after
my.
breakpoint after breakpoint, Gammy. We haven't really seen anyone winning their own picks yet. We just keep seeing these breakpoints.
I can't believe they're
This is
biological
such a scary
brothers.
match.
It must be because they're biological brothers. Man. Anyways, jokes aside, we are moving into palr's next pick, and his game plan here is definitely to look to convert this breakpoint into a lead, right? With him having a breakpoint in his hands, what does palr necessarily go for? I think he has a pretty good safety net. You know, he has a breakpoint over cloppit, so he can afford to play a bit more risky. I think the strat would not be the Hard Rock 2, and in fact, maybe a No Mod 3 or No Mod 4. I mean, palr literally saying what I'm thinking in my head. I mean, there's just no maps in this pool for them to go into. There are not enough decisive picks. That's the thing.
Yeah, a lot of these are just RNG who finds that miss first, unfortunately. I think maybe Hard Rock 1, but interestingly, he's going to choose that Hard Rock 2, sticking with that precision.
Okay.
And he did just squeak out that point on the DT4 on the precision, so maybe feeling that lower CS is what he needs right now.
But then again, right, I think this is still definitely a very dicey pick. If we're talking about cloppit, he's definitely no stranger when it comes to, you know, his hard rock ability, so I think this map is still very, very contested. I think, if anything from this point onwards is going to be contested, as both these players are pretty damn evenly matched on basically everything but the hidden and the speed. So I have to see if this hard rock pick plays out for palr. This map is different from the DT4 that we just saw, in the sense that this is about, I think, around one CS higher than that of DT4. And it's, you know, the skill set is basically hyper precision at this point, so it's going to be testing more of that precision and less on, you know, pattern and aim based difficulty, where the DT4 was more focused on, like, you know, aim agility, snappy aim and whatnot. This Hard Rock 2 has a lot more conventional aim and a lot more comfortable aim, and the main point of difficulty is definitely just going to be that precision above all else. Consistency is key here.
Yeah, this CS 7.5, this one, so definitely a lot more precision required compared to that DT4, and certainly a brutal map for sure to get into.
Yep, I believe we should be getting into the action very, very quickly. Before we jump into it, just like to mention, this is, I believe, a this is a edit. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, Shiv edited this one, I believe.
Is this Shiv edit? Okay, I thought Shiv is just a goated mapper. This is not a Shiv. This is not, in fact, a custom map for a Stage Tranquility Tournament 4. It's unfortunate. But anyways, that aside, let's jump straight into the action here. And as you can see, this is O's for Ants once again. Consistency is just so hard to grab on a map like this, right? The patterning, if it was like, you know, 2 CS higher or 2 CS smaller, it'd be so much easier. But, you know, on a map like this where the CS is key, it's gonna be very, very dicey for these players to hold any form of consistency. On the earlier onset of the map, cloppit is going to hold a SS over palr right now, and as palr finds yet another miss, his second one in the first quarter of the map, things are gonna look dicey. But as I mentioned before, right, you can never be too safe, you can never be too sure on a map like this, as it constantly hits you everywhere. Cloppit trades up the miss, albeit rather late, but still do think it is still going to be pretty cloppit favored at least for now, as he holds a 2% ag lead over his adversary.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I didn't really see the vision with this Hard Rock 2 pick, and we are going to see a cloppit break again, so he's going to start to swing it back into palr's favor, but he will match that immediately, and just a huge ag advantage for cloppit at the moment with that score lead now. And unfortunately, I think this is going to be a really hard one for palr to try and claw back.
I mean, it definitely is still doable. It's too early to say anything. We aren't even past that halfway mark of the map, right? Still do think that cloppit is doing a very good job keeping things close. So wouldn't discount him out just yet, but as you mentioned before, right, the accuracy is definitely what I'm looking at. 2% ag lead is not easy to beat out, especially against a player such as Cloppit. But we slowly but surely move into a slow build up, a slow BPM increase. And this is where the intensity of the map begins to heighten just that little bit, bit by bit. We get into the wide angle patterns for these players to contend with, and Cloppit is going to be the first one to find the miss. palr now has all of the combo lead that he needs. He's in the driver's seat. The question is, will he get to his destination? 10k score lead separates these two players, and the scoreline is moving, it's cruising in favor of the left side, in fact, and it switches over. The tides have shifted in as we move into the last quarter of the map. It's just going to be a question of how far can palr take it. Cloppit hard on his heels once again, but he will not get far. He finds the trip, and palr might find a miss, but that's a 30k score lead to the left side. And I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Who knows? Spin to win at the end, maybe.
40k the difference. palr has managed to bring it back and is gonna unfortunately find some misses there, that leaving the door a little bit open, but Cloppit finds those breaks, and we are gonna see palr taking his own pick now. Gonna be up 4-2 in the advantage of palr, and this is a scary one for Cloppit now. You're down 2 picks, and it is going into your pick, but there's nothing left on the field that isn't just gambly coin tossy. And we are going to see how many 300s coming out of Cloppit. I'm not quite sure, but
oh, fantastic stuff. Anyways, and that's why we were talking about it, right? The DT4 was always gonna be a very, very important pick going into the mid game and guaranteeing the security of these players. Given how palr beat out Cloppit on the DT4, he not just got 1, but he got a 1-for-2 deal, instantly being able to go into the Hard Rock 2 and heavily shift the momentum of this match into his favor. Okay, I have no idea what they're doing in chat right now, man. These Australians are crazy. Bro, I was casting 3WC, right? And I was talking about this player. You might know him. He's called Petit from South Korea. He was FCing Grand Finals tiebreaker. And I kid you not, I can't remember. It was like a secret box Aiken6. I don't know, man. But it was a whole Diddy party happening in chat. As I was mentioning,
potentially been involved in that.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Like, what are we doing, guys? Zintex was there. Oh my days! And anyways, as we're talking, oh my god, as we're talking about anything but the match at hand, Cloppit is gonna go for the No Mod 2, and I think this is a very expected pick. We're just going for more and more mechanics. Cloppit really looking to exhaust all possible avenues when it comes to the mechanics. So this No Mod 2 is the last one, the last tool in his arsenal, so might as well just shoot it out before it's too late. This is gonna be Imperialist. This is a map by It's Winter, a very, very famous flowing map, but one of the best people in the game to do it. Nobody maps flowing like It's Winter. This map is so incredibly fun to watch people go at each other with. Features a whole lot of weird angular changes, a lot of sharp angles, a lot of flowing, a lot of accel, decel, everything that you'd expect in a No Mod 2. A good amount of stamina and a good amount of flowing for these players to dwell on. Map stats, as far as map stats are concerned, it's pretty standard stuff. CS4, CS4, AR 9.8. And with this map clocking in at around 4 minutes and coming in at around 210 BPM, it might be a bit difficult when we get to the later stages of the map when it comes to a stamina perspective, but personally I don't think anything is going to be too difficult for these players, and it's mostly going to be a question of comfort and consistency.
Yeah, getting into this No Mod 2, it does start a little bit more of the flow aim required at the start, and then that ending gets absolutely brutal with that stamina. Far longer streams at the ending, so I believe this is going to be one of those picks where palr should be able to do his best at the start, but when it gets to that heavier, more intense stamina at the ending, I think we are going to see him falter compared to Cloppit.
Man, what is even happening in chat, bro? I'm closing this chat. I'm closing chat. I'm closing chat. We're getting into the action, and it's a double SS. It's gonna be a while, I think, before we see any action in the scoreline. This map, for as intense as it gets into the ending KIs, does give these players quite a bit of time to, warm themselves up to the 210, warm themselves up to the tempo of the map. But, as we move deeper and deeper into the first quarter, we should get a taste of what's to come in this map. It's going to be a lot of XLD cells, and it's going to be a lot of aim control / flow aim. As of right now, cloppit is holding a very, very sizable accurate. No, not very, very sizable actually. It just looks like that because palr drops a bunch of 100s. But the map is going to open up into non-overlapping streams, but nobody gets caught off it quite yet. We're at 700 combo. We're looking to move into the second third of the map with everybody still alive.
Both players holding FCs, but cloppit only finding a few hundreds. But palr missed aiming the start of that stream. Unfortunately, will find a bit of a chain miss, losing lots of that accuracy, and cloppit is still holding. Got to run away with this one now. 99.77% accuracy, looking supremely comfortable. Getting into this again, this more difficult KI section in the middle. Still holding.
Oh wow, the flow aim comes to attack these players, and cloppit is just slamming through every single pattern. Getting out of the entire KI section with not just an FC, but 99.76 at that. I mean, we move into a bit of a finger controlling section, and cloppit loses a bit of accuracy, but I mean, what do you even expect, right? And as we go into the last quarter, that scoreline is growing to a huge 200k. I mean, cloppit is just standing on such a high combo that as soon as palr misses, it doesn't even matter what he does at this point. Cloppit is just going to amass such a large score lead. Going into this last quarter of the map, I really don't think that's going to be enough from palr. Maybe if cloppit finds a miss now, there could be an argument to be made, but with a 2% ag deficit coming in from palr, I just don't think it's possible. And not to mention, cloppit is on an absolute tear.
Cloppit kind of FC this map, I believe. There's not too much left
Okay,
for him to miss on. Surely he doesn't miss.
That's true. He's hit every single one of these flowing patterns, and he's going to the ending jumps. This is where this is where all the stream players miss. This is where all the stream players miss. But bite your tongue, bite your lip. Cloppit is going to walk away from Imperialus with an FC 9966. Oh my goodness.
What an absolutely incredible score from cloppit. FCing that No Mod 2. And that Ak is almost matching Psyqu's Ak as well, which is saying something, because Psyque, one of, if the best stream players in the entire world, had a score that's on this caliber. So, what a showing from cloppit.
Oh my goodness. cloppit on No Mod 2 right after palr on Hidden 1, man. When you put these guys on their comfort, when you put these guys on consistency, they are just so incredibly brutal. No mercy on either one of those picks coming out from both players, really throwing everything that they have out at each other. And now we get to No Mod 1 from palr. So we're really, really hungry on picks. We're really, really starving in the picking department, aren't we? This No Mod 1 is really, really interesting to me. And I don't quite know how I feel about this, right? This is a raw mechanics map, and I get the rationale behind this. On every single one slot that has been picked this match, I'm looking at the Hidden 1 and the DT 1, palr has walked away victorious, and I think he's mostly trying to use the tempo that these two 1 victories have generated, going into that No Mod 1, to give him the confidence to go into this No Mod 1. So we'll have to see. This is a loved map, and it is all about cross-screen jumps for, I believe, almost 4 minutes.
Yeah, I am very surprised that Balor picked this No Mod 1 when we do see the No Mod 3, No Mod 4 open. I feel like those are definitely more points that he would have a bit more favoring compared to this No Mod 1. I mean, palr and cloppit themselves both incredible at No Mod 1s. But I don't understand the gamble here. I feel like this is a little bit of a throw, but I guess time will tell.
I mean,
will see.
what do you think palr should have gone for here? Oh, what
I
would
think
you
the
have gone for?
control is definitely what I would have
Mhm.
gone for if I was palr, but
Yeah, and I guess also another thing to think about, right? We're getting deathly close to that end game, and if cloppit wins on this Hard Rock 1, in similar fashion to how the DT4 opened up the Hard Rock 2 to palr, cloppit could definitely take this number 1 and then go into Hard Rock 1. There really isn't much else for him to go for in this match anyways, but winning this Hard Rock 1 is going to give him so much confidence, breaking into more of the aim in the late stages of this match.
both players readied up, ready to roll, getting into this numbered 1. And I believe this is going to be a very gambly pick. I'm still sort of scratching my head at this pick from palr. I just can't see the rationale, unfortunately, but I am definitely open and willing to be proven wrong.
That's right. The map opens up with a bit of awkward aim, but after this is we're gonna get into big cross-screen jumps that clear the entire screen. Really, it's just gonna be another consistency fest, right? And I think both of these players are very gifted when it comes to the consistency. However, palr is going to be the first one to go down, so early lead for cloppit on the onset of this map, but of course, still a lot to be desired. This is a 4-minute long gauntlet. So much so that I honestly consider it to be aim stamina, as crazy as it sounds.
And yeah, cloppit holding that SS still. As I was saying, cloppit very proficient in these numbered 1s. So is palr, but cloppit finds that break. That is going to open the door now for that to start to bring it back towards palr's favor. He does have that combo advantage, but cloppit only found that 1 break. He does find another now, but it is traded immediately by palr. A full combo reset. These players are neck and neck.
Oh my god, more and more misses coming in from cloppit, but really that accuracy safety net that he's been generating is what's keeping him in the game right now. And yet another miss to add to the total, going to bring the accuracies closer and closer together. And meanwhile, palr is just slamming through the second half of this KI, going to the linear aim absolutely scot-free, but does find a miss. We move into the big symmetry jumps. But with that, we're moving back into the burst, and no energy, no momentum from either side, so we are on even playing field.
Yeah, and the direct halfway point of the map now, that AC almost exactly the same, that score almost exactly the same, and that combo almost exactly the same, matching each other very perfectly. And the start of that KI, both players holding through it as well, getting into these more scary jumps.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just so incredibly dicey. It's so difficult to have any sort of consistency, but for what it's worth, both players are going into this KI absolutely swinging. Some of these jumps are a lot less awkward than the stuff that we've seen before, but never mind. We move into the right angle jumps, and everybody just goes through them scot-free. And crazily enough, Lust, what a reversal from what we saw in the last KI. Last KI, we saw both players missing again and again, but this time neither side are giving an inch. Going into the last third of the map, time is running out, but the scoreline is still so incredibly close, and cloppit is gonna be the first one to fall in the tug of war, as palr now holds that scoreline in his hands. But how far can he go is the question. We're past that last quarter of the markets, do or die now for palr, and he is hungry for this point.
palr still holding this massive combo, 700 now and growing.
Oh,
and
we are going.
Keeps holding. cloppit finds another break as well, so there's nothing in the field of cloppit at the moment. palr's just all the momentum, all the power in palr's hands at the moment, and that score already 70k in the advantage. Not too much left. I believe there's not going to be enough for cloppit to try and do anything here.
palr has ran and he's left cloppit in the dust on this map. I don't think there's any sort of density in this last section, so 900 combo and counting to palr. The question is, can he make it to that 1000 last jumps on the map, similar to the ones that we saw before? And he's looking to close this map out with a decisive 150k score lead. I mean, is it just me, Last, or are we seeing more decisive score lines the later we go into this match? I mean, crazy stuff from both of these players. They're just hiding so much information from each other.
Yeah, and these players are definitely well aware of each other's skill sets, are very good friends. So we are, as a collective, I think all very surprised to see this result. palr pulling out 1,041 combo, FCing that whole last half of the map, claiming he was so nervous that he got dizzy.
I get it though.
Which is-
No, I get it. Like
Wow.
this map is aim stamina. It has like mental tenacity. Your fingers might not hurt so much from it, but you know, having to aim and aim and aim and aim and aim for a whole 4 minutes and having all of them be cross screen jumps, I can only imagine how you know, daunting a map like this must be.
And what do you choose here? I don't know. If I'm
I don't
cloppit,
think it's
I'm
the
kind of gonna go for a hard rock, but he asked for a timeout, which is completely understandable. You are down 5-3, match point in palr's favor. And you need to take a moment to mental reset, think about what's the best move going forward.
Okay, here's the current board state, right? 4 picks left in the game. No more 3, no more 4. Hard Rock 1 and Hard Rock 3. All of these maps are pretty damn rough. Like, no matter which way you splice it, cloppit is going to have to play on some form of control. We haven't seen control being picked at basically at all during this match, right? The closest analog that we can draw to any sort of control pick is either the precision maps, but not really a good comparison, and the hidden 3, which is, you know, the closest thing that we actually have. The hidden 3 was techy, but even so, how much information can we even get from a pick like that, right? Because it was so closely contested. It was so close all the way to the very last second. And despite the fact that cloppit might have emerged victorious on that pick, it isn't decisive enough for to give me enough confidence that, okay, yes, cloppit can go into more control this tournament. So I'm a bit worried for cloppit. I don't really know what he goes for here. If I had to put my finger down and place a bet, Lust, I think it's either Hard Rock 1 or it's Hard Rock 3. It's one of the Hard Rocks, but there are pros and cons to both the Hard Rock 1 and Hard Rock. But no,
No,
what?
4? Okay.
Okay. Okay, no, it's alright. It's alright. This is tech. Cloppit is looking to double down to tech then, I guess.
Okay. I don't know if I would have done the No Mod 4 here as well, but again, that's what I was saying about the No Mod 1. I wasn't too confident with that pick, and palr just absolutely ran away with it, so we could see a similar case with this No Mod 4.
I am so excited.
This is palr.
I am scared. I'm as scared as you. I'm with you in the commentary booth, but I am so excited to see this map being played. On the other hand, this is a custom map by the lovely Fairy. You might know them, a very talented mapper who's been in the OS World Cup mapping team for many years. I believe 4 years. 2025 was his 4th year. Very talented mapper, and known for, you know, very nice visuals and his absolute prowess when it comes to mapping circle tech. And that is what this map is all about, right? There are a lot of sliders, of course, that come to attack these players, but they sort of act more as flares rather than, you know, strict difficulty pointers. But, you know, the main point of contention definitely is going to be the snaps and a lot of the cut patterns that come as a byproduct of circle tech as a skill set.
cloppit aura farming, saying, palr, it is time.
And indeed it is, right? I mean, from this point on, palr has a knife pressed up against cloppit's throat. He has him backed into a corner, he has him backed between a rock and a hard place, and at any moment there is a cloppit can just completely get game ended here. So we're in dire straits for cloppit, but frankly speaking, I don't think palr necessarily has a easy way to victory. It's definitely not as clear-cut as I think he'd like it to be, despite the fact that the scoreline is looking 5-3 and comfortably in favor of palr. But it all starts with 1. Here we go, slowly but surely building up to, I believe, one of our first custom maps of the Oceanic Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Second Warning.
Seen palr found that early break, and he does find another one now. cloppit absolutely dominating at the moment. 99.65 still FCing. Oh, I believe actually palr did not find a break. That was a Bancho break. The classic. That one looks like it was real though.
Yep. That one is going to be real, and palr is going to have so much momentum, so much tempo going into the second half of this map. 500 combo and counting, and that scoreline has already generated to a whopping 50k, going to 60k into the next third of the map. I mean, cloppit is just eating all of these circles up, going into the next section of this KI, and he's just going to continue his onslaught through and through. palr can only just watch and wait for a miss to come from cloppit, but with both the combo and accuracy, it's going to be difficult, even if cloppit finds a miss, which he does do right there. It's a 99.6% accuracy that palr has to contend against.
And cloppit actually did Bancho break, so he's still holding that FC.
Oh, he's still going! He's still going!
Days.
Yeah, no. If there was ever a main character of the Oceanic Cup, it would be cloppit at this moment. palr finds a miss. cloppit continues to outpace him. He outlasts palr's recovery. And as we move into the next KI of the map, the final KI of the map, not like this map goes down in difficulty at any point, but cloppit is looking to continue to push and push and push. 1.1k combo and counting. I mean, what are we doing? Cloppit! You cannot be doing this. We're going last quarter of the map, and it's just for star points at this juncture. He's busted the score bar, and he's looking to take it as far as he can. It looks like that was a real miss, but it doesn't detract from just how incredible this scoreline is. Okay, one thing that I never understand. One thing I never understand about cloppit as a player is that how does this guy always manage to get such an incredible accuracy? Right? On a tag map, no less. When was the last time you saw someone get 99.1% act on a tag map? Like in an open rank tag map. Like, this map is not an easy one by any extent of the word. It's a 7.2 star tag map. And cloppit made it look like it was 5.2 stars. Like, oh my goodness. What is cloppit? Wow. I'm lost for words. I'm just
an absolutely incredible score. There's no other words for it. One missed 1300 combo, 734k on this No Mod 4. I can't believe what a score cloppit has just performed. Almost FCing that No Mod 4 is not something you'd expect to see, let alone from cloppit.
I mean, it begs the question, right? Why didn't we see this pick come out earlier from cloppit? Why is the No Mod 4 only coming out now? Because imagine if, we dabbled into the control a little bit earlier, maybe cloppit would have had a different angle of attack or a different picking strategy going into this matchup, right? Because for what it's worth, I think both you and I can agree he didn't need to go for the DT4. The DT1, okay, I think if I was in cloppit's scenario, I would have made that mistake as well. But the DT4, I would not have looked to go into the DT4, especially knowing my opponent when it comes to precision. So, I mean, why didn't cloppit go for a control pick earlier? If he went for this No Mod 4, could have been a very good indicator to go into the light tech hard rock one, but I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. You can't take back what has been put on screen. You can't take back what's been written on paper, so you can only look ahead and continue to trudge. And it looks like there's some banter happening in chat. Tried to convince him for a No Mod 3. But it looks like we're gonna get a hard rock one. Okay. It's looking doable.
Yeah,
I feel it.
One of the maps that I would have sort of picked earlier if I was, palr. And this
really?
This is one of those scary consistency picks. Just unrelenting, grueling 5 minutes straight of constant awkward hard rock aim. This map is so difficult, and getting into this for what is essentially going to take you to tiebreaker if you lose this. Terrifying.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is, if you guys are familiar with the artist, it's a very, very cultured a very, very cultured tournament player song. This is King Lizard and the Lizard Wizard. Bars, absolute bars. Robot stop. This Hard Rock 1 is, you know, first off, it's 5 minutes long, so high tiebreaker, foreshadowing. But the second part of this map is that it really isn't a standard, you know, of course it is going to be a war of attrition by nature of length, but it's not necessarily a mentally draining map because a lot of the patterning in this map is very awkward. And it's different from the hidden one. It's not awkward because of the circles, but it's awkward because of the sliders. There are some of these sliders are very, very easy to find misses on, and overall the sliders are so big that at some point it feels like it's eating up your inputs. That's one thing, and of course, in case that wasn't enough, at the end of, you know, there are a bunch of flowing patterns that are just littered throughout the course of this map, just in case, you know, the sliders weren't enough to trip up your combo. We'll have to see what kind of trajectory this map goes, because it can either go, you know, in the way that No More 2 went, where it was a large, big combo that it was both players holding large combos until very late, until one found the miss, or it could be similar to the No More 1, where you just saw misses come in throughout the entire map, and it was just a battle of the accuracy, and eventually whoever could hold that large combo. But yeah, here we go. We're in for the long one, and you know, this is some way to end off the picking phase of this match.
Getting into this Hard Rock 1, both players matching each other perfectly at the moment. Just very, very early days in this grueling 5-minute map, and getting into this first jump section. Both players going to hold, but palr is going to find a little bit of an act drop, and that is going to actually cloppit finding that miss. So that is going to give the advantage to palr.
Yeah, but palr is going to trade things out, and we are still tied up when it comes to the scoreline. But of course, the accuracy, you cannot talk about this. You cannot go one map without talking about the accuracy coming in from cloppit, right? 99% accuracy to boot, and with another miss coming in from palr, it's going to look very, very nice for cloppit fans in chat. We're moving into the second quarter of the map slowly but surely, but with a 200 combo and counting, it's all going to come down to the KI. Here we go. The aim instantly builds up, not giving these players any time to react, and it catches both of them off guard. Accuracy is going to look to be slightly equalized, not quite so, with about 0.8% ac lead going in favor of cloppit, but that is going to be enough to bring that scoreline in reaching distance for palr.
Score is so close. Just sounding like a broken record at this point. These scores exactly the same, but cloppit does find that slider break that's going to start to open the door for palr to bring that score lead back over to his side. And he is unfortunately going to break on that buzz slider though, and that again, full combo reset. Only 3,000 score the difference.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a similar story to No More 1, but will we see history repeat itself? Will palr be able to redo the feat that we saw on that No More 1? That is going to be the big question as we once again move into more of these flow imps. And I mean, look at how devious all of these sliders are, right? It's so incredibly tough to exercise any sort of consistency on the board when it's constant, your cursor is just constantly being forced around and thrown around like a ragdoll. But as it stands right now, palr is going to be the next one to find a miss, and now cloppit is going to hold a pretty sizable combo and accuracy lead over his adversary. 400 combo and counting. Is this the reversal? Is this the flipping of the script of No More 1 that we are seeing on this Hard Rock 1? Past that halfway mark, and cloppit is still trudging ahead with a 500 combo to his name. We have about 2 minutes left in the tank, and it's going to be a war of survival. It's going to be a battle of tenacity.
And there's been yet to see a break, and there's still quite a long time, still at least another minute and a half before we see another break. And both players just constantly, their pen grips have to be messed up at this point. cloppit 700 combo in now, and they would just be begging for a break at this point.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm sure everybody in chat is getting excited seeing the scoreline right now. cloppit is doubling what palr is putting on show. And as we move into the last quarter of the map, time is running out for palr to make this comeback. This flowing section comes in. Is anybody gonna find a miss? Is there gonna be any saving grace for palr? The slider comes in, doesn't catch anyone off guard. No, it doesn't. We are once again going to see the scoreline continued to walk in favor of the right side. Cloppit wants this tiebreaker so badly.
We're so close to that break. Not very long, but both players, they'll be feeling it now. These gruesome sliders, absolutely terrifying to try and hold through. When you've been playing for 3.5 minutes straight, but Cloppit finds that break. And now 100k to try and claw back for palr. He has that big combo though, and there's still definitely plenty of time.
I wouldn't go as far to say it's plenty, but the scoreboard opens. palr knows what is at stake. He stares down his Australian brother, and he knows what needs to be done. It's just going to be a question of how badly. He has another miss from Cloppit in case it wasn't enough. 900 combo to his name. It's just gonna be a question of how far can he go. The aim comes in. Last chance for palr to find a miss. Last chance for Cloppit to hold. And there is no room for error for Cloppit in these ending sections. We are looking at a 25k score lead separating both these players. 20k. It goes underneath that margin. 50k and 14, 13, 12. And it stops for just a little bit with the slider, but it's going to continue to move. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. And to the left it goes. palr, at the very last second, denies the tiebreaker, taking the match 6-4.
What an absolutely incredible point we've just watched. palr taking that in the dying final few seconds. He's going to take that point. 6-4 against Cloppit. What a match we just watched, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, what a match it has been. What
Absolute
a match it
cinema.
has been. Oh,
absolute cinema.
There's no better way to describe it, Lus. I mean, we just watched possibly one of the closest matches this weekend. It was looking extremely doable for Cloppit until the very last second, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, it just was not enough. Congratulations to palr for moving forward in the winner's bracket, going into the winner's side of semi-finals, and guaranteeing himself an opportunity at that top 4 placement. And meanwhile, of course, we will be seeing Cloppit go down to the loser's bracket, but I'm sure he is more than capable of putting up a showdown there. But yeah. Oh my goodness, that was most definitely a match, but we can't stay here for too long. I'm sure everybody's clamoring to look for a tiebreaker showcase, but unfortunately, we have a equally as exciting match coming soon, and it's gonna be a matchup between Sayo and Superior. So I'm sure everybody will want to see that as well. And you know, I don't know about you, but I heard they had a pretty good script going there. But yeah, we should be switching over.
Transition straight to that one.
Yeah, we should be switching over very soon. The match, in fact, started 8 minutes ago. So with that, my name has been Gami, his name has been Lus, and we'll be shifting it over to Dio and Vordi.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Oceanic Cup. After a very short caster swap, we are going to get right into our next match, which is already underway. It is Sayo versus Superior. I'm Dio. Good morning, Canada, and good evening, Vordy. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Nice time zone difference here in the booth, as usual, with a nice Australian / North America cast. But here we go, into this Hard Rock 1, the map you just left off of, where palr had an unbelievable clutch in the ending to close out a 6-4 win. As we have Superior versus Sayo here. Obviously, just talking about this match real quick, Superior coming in as a seed 7th, Sayo is a seed 15, so obviously seed differential favor of Superior, but right now, really, really close on this Hard Rock 1, just slight edge to Superior, but really no combos, bit of an ACK lead. I'm not too sure who picked this. If I had to guess, I think this is like a map either could pick, but we'll probably get that information soon. And it was Sayo.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could just take a look on the ref sheet here, but Sayo pick, I think, does make sense on a map like this for a number of reasons, but I think mostly this is just a tourney core map, right? Like, this is a super, super tourney core map, and Sayo definitely kind of has had his metal tested a little bit more within the tournament scene. But Superior last week looked really, really good, despite the loss in round of 16. And unfortunately, Sayo, I don't know what happened there. Maybe some tech difficulties or something, but he just stopped playing for a second, and that is going to cost him a lot of score. He's now down 50k when Superior only has about 180k himself, and that is a huge lead. I think this is just going to be a breakpoint.
Most likely. To me, that just looked like a regrip, like his grip was in an absolutely horrid position, which for a map this long, I mean, they're already over 3 minutes deep into this pick. I could definitely see happening, and maybe rather tank some misses than have to play with a bad grip, but obviously regardless, Superior's now up 50k, not putting up a fantastic score himself, but I think a big factor in this matchup is Sayo. You know, he's not at peak Sayo form, and I think where that's really evident is going to be tapping, and the streams in this map seem to have done him no favors, despite it being his pick. I think the inconsistency for Hard Rock, you know, could have gone pretty well, but you can see the accuracy on the streams, and even the aim, not having too great of a time at it.
Yeah, honestly, really tough there for Sayo. First pick going awry is never anything you want to see, but it is going to be a very good start for Superior. One of the middle-seeded players actually was upset last weekend. Seed 7 losing to Seed 10 Poyuto in the round of 16. Poyuto looked really, really good last week, averaged 600k. Superior averaged 540k as well, actually put up a really solid overall performance. For context, the only person averaging above 700k on last week's pool was Atkins. Box was very close at 690k. But that's it. Everybody else is kind of in that 600k range, except for Osbert, Box, and Atkins. So 540k is not too shabby on last week's pool at all. Sayo, meanwhile, had a pretty rough time. Got a quick 6-0 in a very rough matchup, I believe, versus Atkins, if memory serves. Yeah, it was versus Atkins in that matchup. And Superior, I think, is just going to have a pretty solid time with a couple of these. Put up the number 2 score on Nomad 3 last week. Wouldn't be surprised to see him pick into something like that, or into some of the other more alt-focused picks in the pool. Something like a Nomad 6. This Nomad 6 in particular could actually work as well. It's not necessarily an alt map, but could work as well, but instead it's going to be the double time 3.
Yep, Superior unsurprisingly picking the speed. Looking at the bans here, so Sayo banning out Nomad 5, speed map makes sense. Also bans out DT1, which it makes sense in the sense that that's a fantastic Superior map and he'll likely be very advantaged on it. I'm a little bit surprised he doesn't just ban another tapping map, because I think those picks will be even more decisive. This DT3 being 300 BPM tapping, and I don't know if Sayo necessarily wants that smoke. Superior, unsurprisingly, double banning hidden, banning out the 2 more reading heavy hiddens. He is not a great hidden player. It's kind of his one big weakness right now. But everything else, I think he'd be happy to play. And, you know, like those Nomad 3s or Nomad 4s, I think he'll still be fine. So, mostly, for the most part, pretty expected picks. Other than that DT1, I'd expect like a DT3, DT2 ban. But here we go. Double time 3, AR 10.3, 300 BPM. We've seen the speed players so far have pretty good times on this. But right now, oh man. Oh boy. Oh boy, Sayo.
Bodhi, I'm just going to go over the stats from last week, all right? Last week, DT3, Superior, number 8 out of 12, actually, which is why I wasn't looking at this as a pick. But he still got over 1 million score on this map last week in the DT3. So he was number 8 with 1 million score. He just missed the ending. But still had a very good run. Tayo, on the other hand, B rank 300k. Not great. Not looking great on this map. I think this one's kind of a lost cause. And, 2-0 go next. Sometimes it really do just be like that. There's not much you can do in some cases.
I'm gonna timestamp this 200k Superior just passed that 200k mark. Could even gone earlier. I think Superior could stop playing right now and he'd still win this pick. Like he could have stopped playing a little bit ago actually. Which is rough. I mean, Superior really good at a skill set like this. This is kind of his bread and butter. But Sayo clearly not ready. I mean, he's given it a go. And you can't disrespect a man for trying his best. But
no.
Yeah. Pick is well over.
Dude, honestly, this actually takes me back. This takes me back to my early, back into 2020, 2021, when Badu was still super active in tournaments and he was playing 1v1s.
Yeah.
And I was just, every weekend, I'd be casting fucking Badu versus Erison on the DT30.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just so cooked for one player.
It's immediately okay. Badu's gonna double ban speed. Erison is gonna pick the other 2 speed maps. They're gonna be completely free picks. Badu's probably gonna get free picks on the reading, and then at 2-2 the match actually starts.
Exactly.
It gets interesting.
Oh my god, I remember back in 2022. This is there's no point actually casting this map. This is a really good score for Superior, by the way.
Superior.
Now we can start casting. He's still FCing. He's got 98.5.
Really good accuracy on the full combo as well, and he gets it. Massive score. I mean, as far as a score multiplier, I don't think you're gonna see a gap this large.
That is a great gap at the
basically bottom. Almost 20xing Sayo's score. So very, very about as convincing as a win as you'll ever get in any high-level tournament. Yeah, pretty good start.
Close map, honestly.
Close map. Yeah, I think if Sayo just had a bit more elbow grease, would have had this one in the bag.
If he employed the tap X method, tap X double tap spacebar method, I think maybe.
Nobody showed this guy SpongeBob tapping. If he knew about that tech, bro, he would have had it. He would have had it in the bag. 99% FC easy.
I'm slightly serious about the tap X spacebar double tapping method. But you using that to win DT2 versus Zudinator in Circle Circuit 2022, those who know.
Oh man. That's crazy.
Let's move on to the next pick. Gonna be hidden one for Sayo. I think this just makes sense, right? The one hidden map that's left up. So not surprising whatsoever here for Sayo to pick into this remaining hidden map. This is actually mapped by Oslash. This was a custom map for another tournament previously. I had pulled it up earlier, but I don't have the map up right now, so forgive me. I'm gonna have to look it up myself again. It was a custom map for SRS2.
Yeah, I mean, Oslash, when he was, there was a year where Oslash had an absolutely ridiculous improvement, and definitely I think if he kept going, could have been, for sure, in this tournament, in potentially even some of the higher seedings, but obviously very nice custom map from him. This is, I think, a must, this is a must-win pick for Sayo, if this match is to be close. Obviously, the other hidden map left in the pool outside of the bans, it is targeting Superior's weakness. In that hidden mod, it's pretty aim heavy. I mean, it is just aim heavy. There's really nothing else other than the aim. There's some perfect stack triples, but that's not going to be a tapping issue for Sayo. So if he ends up having a tough time on this one, it is not going to be a good omen for what's to come.
Yeah, no, I think if this pick doesn't go well for Sayo, this match is looking to be pretty one-sided. You've still got the DT2 left up for Superior. And even after that, I mean, if you're losing on both of your first picks and the one remaining hidden map that's left up, I mean, what else is left afterwards? Because Superior is going to be pretty comfortable, like you said, on stuff like the Nomad 3, Nomad 4, this week's Nomad 6 especially. It's a lot more straightforward than last week's. Early break, though, for Superior Sayo with the better accuracy. So far, this is looking much, much better than what we've seen already for Sayo. Does find another break himself, but this is a pretty heavy accuracy lead, just about 2% up over Superior, and both players continue to find these misses. So even though there's continued breaks from Sayo, it doesn't really matter right now. The score staying put about 5k in his favor, but still very, very close with effectively no combo advantage for either player.
Yep, but if Superior struggles to find any big recovery combo, the score is likely just going to stay over on the side of Sayo. Especially with the accuracy lead this time, having it is very, very big here. Unlike obviously the Hard Rock 1, his previous pick. Does find that big miss, so that very nice building recovery is now gone. And Superior pretty much tied up on combos. Another break from Sayo here. And misses like that, every miss like that gives Superior another chance on the little opening of the window, but does find a break himself. So it's still just that 14k score lead, roughly staying put. Sayo finding another miss, but just matched by Superior. Neither player really having a good time here in the second half.
In spite of all of that, it is still a % or so accuracy lead for Sayo. Still a 10,000 score lead for Sayo. That's all you need. You don't need to win by 7 digits. You just need 1 digit. You need 1 point in your favor. And there's another couple of misses to come through and a slider break for Superior during this next section. So Sayo is really just taking advantage of the hidden discomfort for Superior here and being able to hold decent accuracy, even in spite of finding, repeated combo breaks. Another slider break to come through for Sayo as well. It's not mattering all that much. You're still up a % in accuracy. You're matching the combo from Superior, and that's all you need to do on a pick like this. Sayo looking just ever so slightly more comfortable with the hit-in, with this awkward aim pick, and is going to be up closer to 2% accuracy once again here by the end of the map. 98 almost to 96, just barely from Superior, and a nearly 50,000 score lead in Sayo's favor. That's a point on the board, Vorty.
And it's a huge point on the board. Obviously, pretty closely fought by Superior. And unfortunately for Sayo, I think Superior's next couple of picks will likely not be as close if that DT3 is anything to tell us. So very, very needed point for Sayo here. And, no more hiddens left, but if he wants to go into more reading, something like the Nomad 6, if he's practiced it well, that's going to be a pretty good option. But instantly, we see the DT2. Really no shocker. Going into a map that is big stamina check. Opens up with some finger control, but really it is a big stamina test that I don't know if Sayo is ready for right now.
Yeah, I think I think we may be cooked once again. I think we may be cooked once again on this map. We'll see. The last one was not particularly convincing for how well Sayo can do on this map. Superior, I think, just picking, it's not even BM. It's just effective pick strategy. When your opponent cannot play speed at all, you just take advantage and you pick all of the speed and tapping maps. And Morty, there's a 210 BPM Nomad 2. Call in Superior's name after this map too. So we're gonna still get more speed and stamina after this, I feel.
Superior basically has 2 maps, including this one and the Nomad 2, that are probably gonna be near free wins. Unless Sayo is like, actually 300 BPM, obviously struggle, but 230, I got that on lock, 210 down, 99%, let's go. Could be a surprise like that, but I would be very shocked. This will likely be 2 pretty convincing wins, as is the nature when one player is really, really good at speed and one player isn't as great. Kind of just how it ends up being. This introduction. Pretty finger control heavy, a little bit quieter, and Sayo with that first miss. And this is where I do not think you want to see tapping struggles, because the density hasn't really ramped up yet.
Yeah, I was going to say that intro is very simple in comparison to a lot of the rest of the map. You just don't get as many long streams and bursts. Here we go into a slightly more representative section. A lot of 9-note bursts, a lot of doubles and quints in this section, and now you're starting to see the act struggles for Sayo. He is comboing. Never mind. He is no longer comboing. And, you know, from here, it's looking a lot like the last map.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't even. I just know if I was in Sayo's shoes right now, that would be me. I'd be right there at 70%, just tapping my hand out, struggling, as Superior is about to hit 800 combo, just looking so comfortable. And you know, it's very, I mean, this is a tough map. I believe if I check the star rating, I mean, this is 7.5 stars, 225 BPM, but just the stamina check is so tough, and the consistency as well. This is a long map. We're only a third of the way into the map here, as once again, similar to the DT3, it is already done and dusted. But yeah, once again, maybe Superior manages to get another FC, which I think this map would be even more impressive to get it on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there before. I've been there before, double tapping my way through a DT2 that everybody else is like, oh, come on, bro, you should be getting 300k minimum. I'm like, I can get 30k minimum. How about that? Like, let's tone down the expectations.
How about I would sell a portion of my soul for the skill necessary to get 300k with this that you just so measly throw out as a floor. As Superior still with that full combo. There's the break. If Superior had any nerves, I think he'd probably just relax right here.
Yeah.
There's a question mark. There's a question mark with the cursor smoke. Maybe a little bit of EM, but you know.
God, I love 1v1s sometimes, man. 1v1s are the only place where you are ever going to see somebody who is just, you know, I mean this in no offensive way, somebody who just absolutely cannot play a skill set forced into it like this. Whether it's, you know, Badu versus Malteser on reading or Badu versus Malteser on speed. It's just glorious. It's just glorious to see.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's good about this matchup right now is Superior is absolutely crushing it. So there is that part. If this was like a 18k versus a 150k, I think it would be even worse. But as it stands, you still get to see Superior absolutely shred this, and he's going for the full combo once again on the tapping here. And I mean, a performance like this, depending on who he gets in the lower bracket, if they're a tapping player themselves, I think they're going to be pretty scared about this performance here.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of disgusting from Superior, right? Like, even against a lot of the other really good speed players in this tournament, this would still be a winning score. Just comes in and FCs both speed maps in the DT pool, DT2 and 3. No problems, man. Like, actually just very, very good scores from Superior. As much as we're kind of, you know, laughing it up saying, I relate to the guy on the left. Like, that score over on the right is really ridiculous. That is a very good score from Superior. So, nicely done there.
I think between, you know, this and the DT3, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up coming out, you know, the best overall in those two maps. I've seen a couple other FCs in the DT3, but I don't think at that accuracy. So really, really well done from Superior, showing his dominance over that skill set. But Sayo goes into the No Mod 3, and this is one of those maps that's a little bit scary for Sayo, because although Sayo 100% is going to be pretty good on a map like this, got an S rank on the round of 16 No Mod 3, Superior ended up getting 800k in that No Mod 3, and Sayo ended up started breaking pretty, you know, early in the map, so he only got 500k. This is definitely something Superior will likely be able to play pretty well, but you know, he had a tough time on some of the Hard Rock 1, so maybe if he's just not feeling on the ult today, obviously completely different skill sets, but if there are skill sets he's not at maximum performance today, can definitely see him having a tough time on this No Mod 3.
Yeah, I think the interesting part of any matchup like this is seeing how it starts to shake out once the quote-unquote free maps are gone. Well, unfortunately for Sayo, there's such a large portion of the pool that is tapping and speed focused with, you know, DT2, DT3, Nomad 5, Nomad 2. I guess to some extent DT1, as that's also banned out. What BPM is DT4 in this pool? Only 195. Okay, so that's reasonable.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's 4 maps at least, 5 if you're counting the DT1, that are all tapping focus. So he's just got to contend with 3 full picks worth of either speed or high AR DT aim before you really get to start playing your opponent's picks. Meanwhile, Superior, there's 1 low AR map in the pool, and that is Nomad 6, actually. Hidden 2 is banned out, of course, because that one is much more of a reading map than the Nomad 6. But, I mean, there was 1 hidden map left, and then the remaining low AR pick is actually a Nomad map. So he really gets to start getting access to his opponent's picks much earlier. We saw him already take the breakpoint on Robot Stop to start things off. And now you get a map like Nomad 3 here, where, of course, Superior last week was number 2 overall on the map. As you said, 4,800k. Sayo had a very, very good score, 99 AC S rank, but was only down at 500k. So this is, a map where both players are expected to do well, rather than a map where it's one player expected to do really well, one player expected to have a rough time of things, like it is on Superior's picks. So it's just a much tougher match to start off with for Sayo. Right now, though, things on this map seeming pretty close. Accuracy advantage to Superior. Multiple misses so far for both of these players. Timing of the misses favoring Superior a little bit. Held combo a little longer through the intro, but the combo advantage now back the way of Sayo, and the score lead will start coming back slowly.
And right now, looking like a little bit of a similar situation to that hidden 1 we saw, where there's several early breaks, and Sayo building up a nice recovery here. Obviously, advantage to him now. But gonna be some pretty tough sections to come up. Really close right now. And yeah, it is, as he said, this is kind of the thing when one player is really, really good at something like speed, where if you're really good at speed, you're gonna be pretty consistent at it. As Sayo, unfortunately, finds a break, and he doesn't have the picks of his own that are gonna be free for him. And that just means you have all the more pressure to perform. As Superior now with a huge combo lead, the AC lead on his favor, 40k score lead, so has everything going for him. Even if he finds a miss, if Sayo trades it right after, it's going to be favored to him. And does find the break, so it gives Sayo an opening, a much needed one.
In the meantime, that 1% AC lead has done a little bit of damage. Sayo finding another drop as well, and so whatever combo lead he had is now just completely gone. Both players actually hitting that full wiggle stream section, which is just ridiculous. Missing beforehand, but hitting the diff spike is maybe the most relatable thing in this game. As now that 30k score lead is going down a little bit. But that's mostly from the accuracy drops coming through from Superior. There's not a big combo at all for Sayo. In fact, it's combo lead slightly for Superior right now. So as long as that remains the case, the score lead isn't actually going to swap over to Sayo's side. It's just the accuracy drops for Superior, kind of evening things out a little bit, but still at a plus 25k. And that misread for Sayo on the overtap is just devastating.
Oh, that's a heartbreaking miss, because if Superior found a break here and Sayo was able to hold to the ending, there's the miss from Superior, and Sayo is still holding. I don't think because of that overtap there's a chance here. I mean, there's barely anything left. If he had held combo, for sure, I think could have taken it, but no, there's not enough time. Just that really, really unfortunate overtap after that short break, and gives Superior another point on the board, as he still has that Nomad 2 lined up for him, which was almost certainly going to be converted. So rough spot here for Sayo after just a heartbreaking loss in the Nomad 3.
Yeah, that is the overaim on that high spacing cut stream that he's talking about with the chain miss, plus that it looked like just a misread into the overtap, is 2 really, really rough misses. As you said, it just drops so much score, and you lose so much opportunity to take that point back. I think if either one of those didn't happen, Sayo probably finds the win. But rather unfortunate. I'm not sure exactly why this timeout is happening. I'm assuming Superior is like getting ganked in real life or something like that, because the Nomad 2 pick is so obvious here. But I don't know, maybe considering pick strategy for afterwards, I feel like DT4 and Nomad 2 are just very straightforward, solid picks here, though, for Superior.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might be the most likely scenario, him just having an IRL gank. Because, as you said, there's really no reason to call a timeout other than that. I mean, Nomad 2 is just there for the taking. And yeah, outside of that, DT4 is a pick I could totally see Sayo having a decent time on. I mean, it's in that aim control territory. I do think Sayo got a pretty good score on the DT3, which was the closest skill set. It's still pretty different, right? This one is CS6, but he got 7th overall on that DT3. Has some precision elements, so don't think Sayo would have a tough time on that one. There's really no tapping in it to really hurt him there. So could be several options for Superior, but it is obviously just going to be that Nomad 2 for now.
Yeah, I mean, what else are we picking here, right? Just pick the 210 BPM Deathstream stamina map and move on. We're in for another one. Guys. It's winter, 210 BPM, 3-minute stamina map. What else do you say besides good luck, bro? Like, there's not really a lot that you can do. This is an old custom for Resurrection Cup 2023, and yeah, it's got difficulty to match. It's just 210 death streams basically the whole time, 4 minutes long on this one.
Yeah, I mean, we're going lower in the BPMs. We've 225 didn't look too great, but 210 maybe this is the BPM. Still pretty high though. Still up there for sure.
Let's turn it down a little bit. Let's go down. Let's go down to like 190.
Let's go.
180
I'm thinking like 170 giga spacing, just insane. You can see the follow lines in between the circles.
That's my
all the
kind
time.
of farm map.
That's need that as the Nomad 2.
Yeah. Slightly off topic. Fury ranked a set of the base BPM version of Smiling by Lime. The old Arliss map, right? The like 200 BPM Super Space Stream map. Yeah, that's a sped up version. The base version is like 170 BPM, pretty much right on.
Crisp.
Or like 174 BPM or something like that. There's now like a full length 6-minute version ranked, and it's just follow point streams near the ending. Actually, some farm. It's wonderful.
It's gorgeous.
Let's get into this one. And Superior, much better accuracy at the start here. Sayo, you can't fault a man for trying his best, and as long as he can hold on to the combo, he will have a chance on this map. And as you said, this is much lower BPM. We're getting into the range of BPMs, I think, where, after being forced to play 300 and 225 BPM, maybe you're warmed up enough, maybe you can hold some combo, and if your opponent is finding shit misses everywhere, then maybe it's possible. But not if you full 100 and miss a bunch of streams like this. Superior will not FC this map. First time that's happened on any of his own speed picks, but he's still looking pretty good in comparison. And Sayo stopped playing. I can't even blame him.
Yeah, honestly. He comes back. Just had a quick take a breath. Superior had that very, very early missing in the first 10 combo. Break after, obviously very flow and focused, as he is looking extremely comfortable on this 210. Fortunately for Sayo, this is not a 170 BPM stream map, as I think he just tapped out. He's back. Welcome back. And that is going to be the pick once again on the, fortunately for him, the last tapping map that is open in the pool.
Yeah, very fortunately, this is the last time we're going to see this for Sayo. Unfortunately, it's going to be 5-1 after this 40. That's match point. That's one pick left for Superior to win this entire match. So Sayo would have to pull off the comeback, down 1-5, win 4 in a row, get the tiebreaker, and then win tiebreaker. Reminder, this is a loser's bracket match. Sayo matched up against Akins last week. Superior lost in an upset to Poyuto. So this is loser's bracket already. Whoever loses this match, is actually out of the tournament. What do indeed? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Resign yourself to fate. Play relax.
Just go 5 years back in time and just threaten your past self with bodily harm if you don't grind tapping every day from now on. And then, you know what? That
KHZ
world,
method
maybe.
from 2014. I don't know, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Spirit does find a miss, breaks that big recovery, but obviously, that's just going to be for his own score line. The pick is he's almost 20xing once again.
Yeah, I think the
margin.
hilarious part about this is not necessarily that Sayo's getting a bad score. It's that Superior's score in comparison is always just absolutely ridiculous. 98.96 accuracy, 1 miss, 1300 combo. The one time he doesn't FC, he still is just 1 miss and over 600k with nearly 99 ac. Like, what do you do, actually? Even the good speed players in this tournament would have trouble matching a lot of these scores. 2 high ac FCs plus a high ac 1 miss.
So is this a long stream practice in that lobby or what?
I mean,
That's rough, dude. That's rough.
Like,
I will say this is why I was surprised to see the DT1 ban, because I'm like, look, like I understand you probably lose the DT1 either, but if I'm forced between losing on a DT1 where I can at least have fun on the aim, or being forced to get 30k on a No Mod 2, I'm taking the DT1 any day of the week.
taking the DT1, man.
So that's I think why I was a little bit surprised. Or ban the 2 longest tapping naps. Is another strategy you could have gone for. But here we go. No Mod 4, so tech map. Obviously Sayo, a very good tech player, especially at his prime. I remember an ANZT Grand Finals, I think, where went to bracket reset, but Sayo FC'd the No Mod 4 in that pool, just over 7 stars, I believe, 2 times in a row, back to back. So on tech, Sayo can be an absolute fiend. And I do think there's also a kind of skill set where Superior isn't going to be as comfortable comboing, so could be an advantage pick for Sayo.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where is this song from? Does anybody remember?
I mean, it says Source Lobotomy Corporation in the. I don't know if that rings any bells for you.
Incredible. No, there's some kind of there was some other tourney custom or tourney map that I've heard of this before, and I don't. It's just not ringing the right bells. I'll figure it out eventually. Anyway, go ahead and move on to this map. Actually, I did find it. This is from this same song was in OWC 2022. Was a No Mod 4, not a custom map, but a collab between. Who is this mapper? They just renamed to Full W's as their name. Oh my god. Anyway, this was a map in OWC 2022. That's why I remember it. Finally figured it out. And yeah, lends itself pretty well to this style that Fairy has with the kind of circle tech. He explicitly said he was trying to more so copy Nuge and Doodle's style, which is another map set of this song, which is why I think this is a little bit more slider shape and slider end catching heavy than Fairy's usual style, where you see a lot more of the kind of stream tech and circle tech in this map. Couple of early misses here for Sayo. Superior still holding on to the full combo a third of the way in, and this is looking really good for Superior and really bad for Sayo really quickly. Yeah, it's still early days. We're in the first half of the map at least, but Superior on a full combo with the same accuracy as your opponent is a really, really good place to be. And that is another miss from Sayo halfway in now. And Superior is still on the FC over halfway into the map. 800 combo lead and an over 130k score lead already for Superior. And Sayo just cannot seem to find his footing on this map.
I mean, Superior, obviously rough score from Sayo, but man, Superior is putting on a show right now, hitting that entire rough section going into the second tough part. And man, it is likely over. As remember, we're in match point, so Superior takes this, he takes the match 6-1, and that is probably what we're going to see is Sayo's trying to build up this 200 combo, but already 240k, and with that break, it is just completely done and dusted. Superior does find the miss, but only a quarter of the map left. I think that over 1k combo from Superior is going to be enough for him.
Yeah, I mean, that is even in spite of the misses coming through here in the back half of the map for Superior, that is a really, really good score. Does drop the act down a little bit, but still holding 96 on something like this. You can see how easy it is to just chain miss everywhere on a map like this. So honestly, respect to both players. Sayo at least able to hold on to combo for the most part. Found a lot of slider breaks throughout this map. I think that's kind of expected for the vast majority of players on something like this. It's a very, very solid score from Superior. Plus 250k on the last pick and a 6-1 victory over Sayo, knocking Sayo out of the bracket and moving on to the losers semifinals.
Yeah, and he'll go on to verse up against Treyarch, who just had a very, very good matchup against Zintex, losing that 1-4-6. So this is gonna be a very good matchup. Sayo out of the tournament. After, yeah, I mean, I don't think he was at his peak. I don't think he was fully derusted for Osu. I don't know if he's been playing as much, but hey, still by simply qualifying, do get a little bit of a prize, so still worth that effort. As Superior, really, really good showing here. I mean, his tapping that he displayed, obviously found a miss on that Nomad 2, but really good act regardless, especially when you consider he lost most of his act from one chain 100 spree. That DT2, that DT3 is looking criminally smooth, and I'm sure it's going to be something he relies on going forward in the tournament. Man, GG's.
Yeah, between the first week and this one, Superior looking very good, and Sayo, thank you for playing. Was a good match. Put up a point as well on that hidden one versus Superior, but going to be out of the tournament, so hopefully see you next year, see you around. And Superior, we will see next week in the loser semifinals. That is actually it for all of the matches for the quarterfinals here at the Oceanic Cup. Don't have info on hand about when the map pool showcase will be for semifinals, but keep a lookout for that for the semifinals map pool showcase. And we'll see you very soon for the next round of matches in the semifinals next weekend. Stay tuned. Details in MREX server in the Discord. And we'll see you all next week for some more matches here at the Oceanic Cup.
Catch you there.